Good afternoon and mabuhay. Once again, welcome to our Project SOAR, a series of online academic reviews in mathematics for week 9. Thank you for the review session, Ma'am Jawam. Uulitin po for second quarter naman po. Okay, so kanina grade 7, 8, 9, 10, the junior high school, tapos na ang review session. This time, tungo tayo sa senior high school mathematics naman. Now, allow me to introduce to you our review teacher for general mathematics for week 9 using the CLEAD module. She is teaching general mathematics, 8 years in public school teaching. Teacher 2 at Addition Hills Integrated School. Okay. She graduated Bachelor of Science in Education, major in Mathematics at Kalinga Apayao State College. She completed her academic requirements of her Master of Arts in Mathematics at Philippine Normal University. Okay, mga senior high school Batang Mandunong, let us all welcome our review teacher for week 9, General Mathematics, none other than Ma'am Julie Lopez Morta from Addition Hills Integrated School. Julie, it's your turn. Good luck po.
Thank you so much, Sir Ryan Verbo. Magandang araw po sa lahat. Bago ko po simulan ang pagtalakay ng Clyde Learning Module 9 ng General Mathematics, nais ko po munang batiin at pasalamatan ang mga taong sumusunod. Sa ating OIC SDS, Dr. Romela M. Cruz. Sa ating OIC ASDS, Dr. Aurelio G. Alfonso. Sa ating OIC CID Chief, Dr. Aline G. Mendoza. Sa ating Education Program Supervisor in Mathematics, Mr. Restituto Rodelas. Sa aking bagong principal, Miss Gigi G. Bulanday. Teachers, home learning partners, at sa mga batang mandunong, magandang hapon po sa lahat. Halina at samahan niyo po ako sa isang makabuluhang hapon para pag-aralan ang inyong mga lessons sa Clyde Learning Module 9 ng General Mathematics. Math-sayang mag-aral, math-sayang math-tuto. Tara, aral na! Good day, everyone! Today, you can learn the domain, range, intercepts, zeros, asymptotes, and graph of logarithmic functions, which are the content of your Module 9. The lesson objective for today are, at the end of this video, you are expected to, first, find the domain and range of logarithmic functions. Second, determine the intercepts, zeros, and asymptotes of logarithmic functions. Number 3, represent a logarithmic function through its table of values, graph, and equation. Let us review first the definition of logarithmic function. Ang logarithmic function is defined as a function in the form of logarithm of x to the base b is equal to y, where the base is greater than 0 and the base is not equal to 1. It is called logarithmic function of base b. It is also the inverse of exponential equation. Let us take this general format. We have logarithm of x to the base b is equal to y. If and only if we have this one, the base b raised to y is equal to x. This is the logarithm of x to the base b is equal to y is the logarithmic form. And b raised to y is equal to x is its exponential form. Let us take this example. We have logarithm of 32 to the base 2 is equal to 5. If we will transform this one into its equivalent exponential form, we have this one, the base, which is 2 raised to 5, that is equal to 32. Ngayon, etong logarithmic form na to ay may mga parts. Ang tawag sa mga parts na to, yung 2, yung 32, at 5, may mga mathematical term tayo na ginagamit para itawag sa mga values dyan. So we have, your 2 is what we call our base. Kaya pag binasa ito, logarithm of 32 to the base. To the base of 2. So, ang tawag sa 2 ay base. Yung 32 naman, ang tawag dyan ay yung argument. And yung 5, ang tawag naman dyan ay yun yung answer. So, if we have this one, so the base, the argument, and then the answer. Next, let us discuss the properties of logarithmic function of the form logarithm of x to the base b is equal to y. First, we have the domain is the set of all positive numbers, or x such that x is greater than 0. Bakit? Kasi positive numbers lang. Eh ano ba yung mga positive numbers? Ang mga positive numbers ay of course automatic na all numbers which are greater than 0. Next, what about the range? The range is the set of all real numbers, or in short, we can write it in the notation from negative infinity up to positive infinity. That is true to all logarithmic function. And the next one, it is a one-to-one function. It satisfies the horizontal line test. Number 4, the x-intercept is 1. There is no y-intercept. Yung number 4 na property ay applicable ito kapag ganito yung format ng logarithm mo. Logarithm of x to the base b is equal to y. Automatic na ang x-intercept mo ay 1 at wala kang y-intercept. Next, number 5, the vertical asymptote is the line x is equal to 0. Ang ibig sabihin, yung graph mo hindi dadaan sa x is equal to 0, or that is your y-axis. There is no horizontal asymptote. Bakit wala siyang horizontal asymptote? It is because the range is the set of all real numbers. Kaya wala siyang horizontal asymptote. Let us have these steps on how to graph the logarithmic function of this form. Logarithm of x to the base b is equal to y. We have, number 1, ang una mong gagawin ay construct a table of values. Yung table of values, ang laman niyan ay 2 column. Yung isang column ay x values, which is ina-assign mo yung mga values ng x. But take note, yung values ng x dapat ay positive numbers lamang. Kasi ang domain ay all positive numbers only or greater than 0 para ma-evaluate mo yung value ng y. Number 2, draw and label the vertical asymptote, which is x is equal to 0 kapag ganito yung format or yung form ng logarithm mo. Number 3, plot the key point. Yung key point mo ay the base and 1, B1. The quantity B1. Number 4, draw a smooth curve through the points. Ibig sabihin, you connect now the points you plotted on the Cartesian coordinate plane. And number 5, state the domain. Ang domain mo, kapag ganito yung format natin, ay the quantity 0 up to positive infinity. Take note, yung 0 hindi kasali. Because yung domain is greater than 0 or positive numbers. The range naman is the set of all real numbers. So, from negative infinity up to positive infinity. Kasali lahat. And the vertical asymptote is x is equal to 0. Take note din also class kung ano yung domain mo. Ito, yung x value mo dito ay kaparehas sa vertical asymptote mo, which is 0. Kaya parehas silang 0 dito. Example number 1, we have sketch the graph of y is equal to logarithm of x to the base 2. We will determine the domain, range, vertical asymptote, x-intercept, and its zeros. The first thing that we will going to do is number 1, construct a table of values of ordered pairs for the given function. So ang mangyayari, gagawa daw tayo ng table of values consisting of x and y. So dito, kung mapapansin ninyo yung table of values natin, meron ng values of x and y. Ang una natin ginawa dito, yung values ng x ay inassign lang natin. Ang ibig sabihin, tayo mismo ang nag-assign ng mga values of x. Just take note, yung mga values dapat na i-assign mo for values of x ay dapat positive numbers lang. Kasi nga, ang domain ay all positive real numbers. Yung y values naman ay kapag sinubstitute yung values ng x dito sa ating original logarithmic form, makukuha natin yung value of y or yung mga values of y. You can use scientific calculator para ma-evaluate yung y or we can manually compute. Sa pag-manually compute, we have this one. Substitute natin, what if yung value ng x ay 1/8. So, substitute natin yung 1/8 dito sa value ng x. So, we have y is equal to logarithm of 1/8 to the base 2. Ang next naman na gagawin natin ay we will transform this logarithmic form into its equivalent exponential form. Paano nga ulit? So, we have your base raised to the answer that is equal to the argument. So that is now equal to 2 raised to y is now equal to 1/8. Ang next naman na gagawin ay we have to make sure na yung base sa left side at yung base sa right side ay parehas. So, they should have the same base. Para magkaroon sila ng the same base, ang mag-a-adjust yung 8. Kasi yung 8, alam mo, na pwede nating i-rewrite as 2 raised to 3. Kasi, ang 2 raised to 3, alam mo na equivalent yan sa 8. Bakit? 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. So, ngayon naman, hindi pa rin sila same ng base kasi ang base nitong left side ay 2. Ang base naman ng right side ay 1/2. Ngayon, ang gagawin natin, i-apply natin yung negative exponent law. Paano yon? Kapag nasa denominator yung exponent mo at ilalagay mo siya sa numerator, ang mangyayari, mag-change yung sign ng kanyang exponent. So, ang mangyayari, magiging 2 raised to y is equal to 2. Imbis na positive 3, yung nandito na exponent, magiging negative 3. So ngayon, parehas na sila ng base. We can now apply the equating exponent property. Paano yon? Ibababa natin yung kanilang exponent dahil they are equal kasi equal na yung kanilang base. So y is now equal to negative 3. So y is equal to negative 3. Ito ngayon yung value ng y kanina na negative 3. So if x is 1/8, y is negative 3. So magkakaroon na tayo ngayon ng isang ordered pair na pwede nating i-plot mamaya sa Cartesian coordinate plane. Next, i-check naman natin if x is equal to 1/4. Same process pa rin kanina. So ang ibig sabihin, yung x variable, papalitan natin ng 1/4. So magiging y is equal to logarithm of 1/4 to the base 2. Ang next naman na gagawin, from this logarithmic form, i-transform natin into its equivalent exponential form. Magiging base 2 raised to y is equal to 1/4. Ngayon, ang next goal, kailangan parehas ng base para ma-evaluate natin. Para magparehas ng base, tignan mo yung base ng left side 2, yung base ng right side 1/4. Yung 4 kasi pwede nating i-rewrite as 2 raised to 2. That is also equal to 4. So, pag nilagay natin, 1 over 2 squared is still equal to 1/4. Next naman, since hindi pa rin sila parehas ng base, ang mangyayari ay apply natin yung negative exponent law. Yung negative exponent law ay kapag nilagay natin siya, nilipat sa numerator, magbabago yung sign ng kanyang exponent. So, magiging 2 raised to y is equal to 2 raised to negative 2. So, since parehas na sila ng base, we apply the equating exponent property na kung saan ibababa natin yung kanilang exponent. So, y is now equal to negative 2. So, if x is 1/4, your y is negative 2. So, meron na naman ulit tayong ordered pair na 1/4 and negative 2 na pwede nating i-plot mamaya. Next naman, paano kapag yung value ng x na inassign mo ay 1? So, again, we will transform this logarithmic form into its equivalent exponential form. Magiging 2, yung base mo. So, 2 raised to y is equal to 1. Ngayon, meron tayong 1 dito. Paano magiging base 2? Kailangan mong balikan yung ating lesson nung mga nakaraang module na kung saan meron tayong diniscuss na zero exponent law. Ano yon? Yung zero exponent law ay any number i-raise natin sa 0 ay equal sa 1. So, since ang base mo na sa left side ay 2, pwede na nating mag-base sa right side ng 2. But it is raised to 0. Again, 0 exponent law. Any number expression raised to 0 ay equal sa 1. Next naman, since same na sila ng base, we can now have the equating exponent property. Ibababa natin yung exponent nila. So, that is y is equal to 0. So, if x is 1, y is 0. At magkakaroon na ulit na naman tayo ng another ordered pair na 1, 0 para ma-plot mamaya sa ating Cartesian coordinate plane. Next, if x is equal to positive 2, so meaning, again, substitute 2 in the value of x. So we have y is equal to logarithm of 2 to the base 2. Again, transform this logarithmic form into its equivalent exponential form. Magiging 2 raised to y is equal to 2. Next, so as you can see here, parehas na ng base. So since they have now the same base, we can now directly apply the equating exponent property. In the right side, yung value na 2, meron siyang exponent na hindi lang visible. Ang exponent niyan kapag hindi nilalagay ay automatic na 1. Why? Because any number raised to 1 is the number itself. So again, so 2 raised to y is equal to 2 raised to 1. So pinakita lang na ang exponent ng 2 dito ay 1. Apply the equating exponent property. So y is now equal to 1. So we have if x is 2, y is equal to 1. So we have another ordered pair which is 2, 1. Now, if we continue this one, if x is 4, we will get the value of y which is 2. And if x is 8, the value of y is 3. Okay, let's take a look with x is equal to 8. Paano natin evaluate? Manually. So, y is equal to logarithm of 8 to the base 2. Again, transform it into exponential form. Magiging base 2 raised to y is equal to 8. Yung 8 ay pwede nating i-write as 2 raised to 3. So, 2 raised to y is equal to 2 raised to 3. Why? Because 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. Equating exponent property, so y is now equal to 3. If x is 8, y is equal to positive 3. So we can now have the ordered pair 8, 3. And then if we will compute for the value of y when x is 16, we have this one. Y is equal to logarithm of 16 to the base 2. Transform into exponential form, so 2 raised to y is equal to 16. We can rewrite 16 as base 2, but it is raised to 4. So y 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So 2 raised to 4 is also equal to 16. So equating exponent property, so y is now equal to 4. So ang ibig sabihin, if 16 is the value of x, the value of y is 4. So we have the ordered pair 16, 4. Next, we will plot the points on the Cartesian coordinate plane. So, ito kanina yung values of x natin at saka yung values of y. Okay, I just write it into vertical table para may space tayo para sa pag-graph. So, ang itsura ng graph niyan ay ganito. Alright. So, kung mapapansin ninyo, yung 1/8, para mas madali kayong mag-graph, you can get its equivalent decimal value. Paano mo kukunin yung equivalent decimal value nito? So, divide mo lang 1 divided by 8. So, pag dinivide mo 1 divided by 8, makukuha mo ay 0.125 and negative 3. So, somewhere right here. Okay? So, almost touching the y-axis na. Okay? So, and then, yung 1/4 is also equivalent to 0.25 and negative 2. 0.25 and negative 2. So, halos magkakadikit. Okay? So, ganyan yung itsura ng ating graph. So, 16 and 4. So, check natin 16 and 4 yung y. Ayan. Okay? So, after mo i-plot on the Cartesian coordinate plane, ay i-connect na natin. So, how do we connect? We will connect that one. We have this one. Okay? So, ang itsura ng graph, pag kinonect, ay ganito. So, again, after mo i-plot, you can now connect. Ngayon, pwede mong i-check yung graph mo kung tama using a software. Yung graphing software na sinasabi ko ay GeoGebra software. Yung GeoGebra, pwede mong i-download sa Play Store sa cellphone mo or pwede rin sa laptop mo. So, pwede mong gamitin yung itong link na to para ma-open mo yung GeoGebra app. Let us try para makita ninyo kung paano gamitin yung GeoGebra. Para ma-check natin kanina kung tama yung graph natin, we can check it using this app. Again, ang app na yon ay GeoGebra. So, kung naka-install na yan sa cellphone niyo, pwede nyo i-open or pwede nyo namang i-copy yung link na to. Alright, so para gamitin tong GeoGebra na to, input lang natin yung nakuha nating x values at saka y values. Again, yung x values, inassign lang natin yan kanina. So, gagawin natin dyan sa laptop ninyo or sa cellphone ninyo, encode nyo lang. So, the quantity, 181 slash 8. Ayan. So, 1 over 8. And then, yung y mo, which is negative 3. And then, press mo lang yung enter. So, yung plot na to ay nandito siya. So, kung gusto mong lakihan yung graph mo para mas makita mo kung tama yung pagka-graph niya, pwede mong lakihan, i-zoom out or i-zoom in. Yan. So, para mas makita yung bigger picture, ay ganyan na lang gagamitin natin. Yung next na point naman ay 1/4 tsaka negative 2. So, again, ganun ulit, 1/4. So, 1 slash 4 para mailagay yung 1/4. And then, comma, negative 2. So, negative 2. And then, press enter. Ito siya. So, 1/4, that is around 0.25. And then, negative 2. So, dito. And then, next ay, so, 1/2. 1 slash 2, and then negative 1. Enter. Next naman, 1, 0. Next, 2, 1. So, 2 and 1. Enter. 4 and 2. So, 4, comma, 2. 4 and 2. And then enter. And then next, 8 and 3. So, 8 and 3. Enter. And then we have 16 and 4. So 16, 16, and 4. And then press enter. So ito kanina yung graph na pinakita ko sa aking PowerPoint. So kapag sa GeoGebra, siya na yung mag-graph para sa'yo. At least nakikita mo na tama yung pagkakagraph mo or tama yung pagkakasolve mo. So if you want to connect all the points here, isusulat mo ngayon yung mismong logarithmic form. Ang logarithmic form natin ay y is equal to logarithm of x to the base 2. So dito mo isusulat. So lagay mo lang dyan, y is equal to, so dito may pagpipilian kang logarithm. Ang pipiliin mo yung etong una kasi nandyan yung base at saka yung x variable. Okay? So we have, or yung argument. So yung base mo ay 2. So ito yung base. So ilalagay mo 2 at saka yung argument mo which is x. So x lang din ilagay mo dito. So erase mo lang dito. Ayan. So x and then press enter. Pag in-enter mo siya, automatic na siya na yung maglalagay ng line para sa'yo. So, mapapansin mo, trinace out niya yung mga points doon sa nilagay mong mga ordered pairs. So, ganun lang ang paggamit ng GeoGebra. So, at least dito, machi-check mo talaga na tama yung ginawa mong graph kanina. Now, let us find the domain, range, and asymptote, including the vertical asymptote of our first example. Para kunin yung domain, the domain is the set of all positive numbers. So, ang ibig sabihin, we have to equate yung x natin sa greater than 0. Kasi dapat ang x value mo is always greater than 0 because it is positive numbers. So, ang given nating logarithmic function kanina ay y is equal to logarithm of x to the base 2. First, ang gagawin natin, yung x daw dito kailangan greater than 0. So, x is greater than 0. So, that is now your domain. So, since ang x mo ay greater than 0, mas malaki sa 0, pwede nating isulat sa notation na 0 up to positive infinity. Take note 0 is not included kasi ang x value mo is greater than 0. Next naman, paano naman yung range? Yung range mo naman is the set of all real numbers. So, yung ibig sabihin, lahat ng real numbers kasali sa range. Ngayon, para isulat yon, we can use this notation that the range is from negative infinity up to positive infinity. That is now your range. So, itong range na to ay for all logarithmic functions. Ang vertical asymptote naman, once na nakuha mo na yung domain, ay parehas ng value. X is equal to 0. Okay? So, again, ang vertical asymptote, kung anong nakuha mo sa domain, yun na rin yung vertical asymptote. Next, paano naman yung kanilang intercepts and zeros? So, doon sa intercept, y is equal to logarithm of x to the base 2. Okay? So, para kunin yung x-intercept, we let your y equal to 0. Ibig sabihin, papalitan natin yung y ng 0. So, magiging 0 is equal to logarithm of x to the base 2. So, ang ginawa lang natin, pinalitan natin yung y ng 0. Ang next na gagawin natin ay we will transform this logarithmic form into exponential form. So, yung base 2, 2 raised to 0 is equal to x. You know na yung 2 raised to 0, any number raised to 0, which is your 0 exponent law, ay equal sa 1. So, x is now equal to 1. So, ang x-intercept class, sinusulat through ordered pair. Kasi, meron kang x value at saka y value. Yung x value, yun yung sinolve natin na 1. Yung y value, yun yung sinet mo or inassign mo si y na 0. Kaya ang x-intercept natin is the quantity 1, 0. Paano naman yung kanyang y-intercept? Si y-intercept makukuha kapag yung x value mo ay inequal natin sa 0 or we let x equal to 0. So, we have y is equal to logarithm of 0, yung x pinalitan ng 0, to the base 2. Again, transform this one into exponential form. So, we have base 2 raised to y is equal to 0. Ngayon, wala tayong makuhang base at erase natin to a certain number para makakuha tayo ng 0. So since wala tayong makuhang number na ganon, ibig sabihin ay our y is undefined. So meaning wala tayong y-intercept. At na-discuss rin to kanina sa properties that if this is the form, there is no y-intercept. What about the zeros? Yung zeros, madali na lang. Kung anong nakuha mo sa x-intercept, yun na rin ang zeros. Kinukuha yung zeros kapag yung y mo ay 0 din. We let your y is equal to 0. So, same sila ng process. Again, the only difference is that yung x-intercept ay dapat nakasulat sa ordered pair. So, ang zeros ng function na to ay x is equal to 1. Let us take this example number 2. So, determine the domain, range, vertical asymptote, x-intercept, and 0 of f of x is equal to logarithm of the quantity x plus 2 to the base 2 and sketch its graph. Unahin natin yung domain, set of all positive numbers. So, kapag kinukuha yon, so ang x value mo, ito yung kukunin mo yung argument. X plus 2 is greater than 0. Simplify, so we transpose your positive 2 to the right side of the inequality. Or we can apply your addition property of equality. We can subtract both sides by negative 2. So x now is greater than 0. Since nag-transpose ka, magiging negative 2. So x now is greater than negative 2. Ngayon, how do you write your domain? So, yung domain mo ay greater than negative 2 all the way up to positive infinity. What about the range? Yung range naman ay the set of all real numbers. So, kung hindi na tayo magko-compute sa range, automatic, isulat mo na that the range is from negative infinity up to positive infinity. Let's go to its vertical asymptote. Yung vertical asymptote, once na nasolve na natin yung domain, automatic kung anong value ng x, yun lang din yung vertical asymptote para mas madali. So we have x is equal to negative 2. So x is equal to negative 2 is the vertical asymptote of this given. What about its x-intercept and y-intercept plus the 0 of the given? Para makuha yung x-intercept, we let your y be equal to 0. So, papalitan lang natin itong f of x or y, which is 0. And then, after that, we transform this one into exponential form. So, 2 raised to 0 is equal to x plus 2. Base raised to the 0 is equal to x plus 2 or the argument. Yung 2 raised to 0, alam mo na, yung 0 exponent law, that is equivalent to 1. So, x plus 2 is equal to 1. Simplify, we transpose positive 2, we have negative 1. Okay, bakit naging negative 1? Pag transpose natin si positive 2, magiging 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2, we subtract and copy the sign of the bigger number. So, ang mas malaki si negative 2, so masusunod yung negative. So, 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So, ang x-intercept natin, again, nakasulat dapat sa ordered pair, we have negative 1 at saka 0. Sa y-intercept naman, we let your x be equal to 0. So again, this is our given. Ang ginawa natin, 0 yung value ng x. So we have 2 raised to y transform into exponential form that is equal to 2 raised to 1. Paano naging 2 raised to 1? Kasi ito, class 0 plus 2 is 2 na lang. Ang exponent ng 2 ay 1. Okay? So, pag transform yan, 2 raised to y, that is equal to 2. So, actually, kahit hindi mo na isulat yung 1. And then, apply mo na yung equating exponent property, we have y is equal to 1. So, ang y-intercept mo ay 0 and 1. Para naman sa 0, okay, para hanapin yung 0, madali na lang kasi na-compute mo na yung x-intercept. Sabi natin kanina, ang shortcut nito ay kopyahin mo lang kung ano yung nakuha mong x value dun sa x-intercept. So, ang 0 natin ay x is equal to negative 1. Why? Kasi parehas sila ng yung 0 at saka x-intercept parehas ng pagkuha. Ang pinagkaiba lang sa x-intercept kailangan nakasulat as ordered pair. Para naman sa graph, pwede tayong gumamit ng GeoGebra. Okay? So, in-explain ko na yan kanina. So, ang unang gagawin, construct a table of values. So, ang table of values natin, inassign ko na same pa rin. Yung x values natin, 1/8, 1/4, 1/2, 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Ngayon, ang mga y values na makukuha natin kapag ganyan ang mga x values ay ito. So, meron tayong 1.09, 1.17, 1.32, 1.58, all the way hanggang 3.32. Ngayon, ituturo ko sa inyo naman kung paano naman yung hindi tayo magko-compute manually. Okay? But instead, gagamit tayo ng scientific calculator. So, ganito ang mangyayari. So, we have, yung scientific calculator na to class ay application lang siya. So, ibig sabihin ay pwede siyang i-download sa App Store or sa cellphone ninyo or sa computer ninyo. Okay, ngayon naman, ituturo ko naman sa inyo kung paano gumamit ng scientific calculator. Yung scientific calculator para makuha yung y values given yung mga x values para ma-evaluate yung logarithmic function. So, yung gamit ko dito class ay 991ES Plus. Downloadable ito sa Play Store kung cellphone ang gamit mo at pwede rin i-download sa laptop kung laptop naman or computer ang gamit mo. So, pwede mo itong gamitin, ilagay mo lang RC f of x, ayan, so nandito na. Okay? Emulator, yung calculator. So, 570VN plus emulator. Okay? So, pwede mo itong i-download actually. Para mas madali ang pagkuha ng y values, hindi ka na magma-manual compute kasi nakapag-manual compute na tayo kanina. So, turo ko naman sa inyo kung paano gamitin yung ating technology. So, we have, if x is 1/8, so papalitan daw natin, we substitute your x with 1/8. So, we have logarithm of 1/8 plus 2 to the base 2. Okay? So, dito, meron na siyang logarithm. Pindutin nyo lang ito. Logarithm of, ayan. So, of this one, argument to the base. Okay? Ngayon, ilalagay mo ang base mo daw ay 2. So, we have 2. And then, we have x plus 2. Yung x, we replace it with the value of x which is 1/8. So, 1/8, naka-fraction siya. Meron din siyang fraction dito. So, ayan. Pindutin natin 1/8. And then, be careful, baka may lagay niyo yung plus doon sa denominator, doon sa plus 8. So, dito. Okay? So, dapat ipindot nyo muna para mapunta doon sa gitna. So, plus 2. And then, press equal sign. So, 1.087462841. Pero, ang nilagay lang natin sa ating table of value ay up to 2 decimal places para mas madaling i-graph at i-locate sa Cartesian plane. So, 1.09. So, we round off up to 2 decimal places. So, since ang value ng third decimal place ay 7, so, pasok siya sa greater than 5, so, automatic na mag-add ka doon sa second decimal place mo. So, kaya naging 1.09. If x is 1/4 naman, so, kahit hindi nyo naburahin ito, papalitan lang natin, re-replay lang natin. Yan. So, papalitan natin, then delete. Ito, may delete dito. Replace it with 1/4 kasi ang x mo daw ay 1/4. Then, press equal sign, magiging 1.17. Round off up to 2 decimal place. Okay, places. And then, if x is 1/2, so, papalitan natin ng 1/2. That is equals, press equal sign, 1.32. If x is 1, palitan din natin ng 1 yung 1/2 na nilagay natin kasi nandito siya. Yan. So, palitan natin ng 1. So, we have 2 top equal sign. So, 1.58. So, if x is 2, we have the value of y which is 2. And if x is 4, the value of y is 2.58. 2.58. And if x is 6, ayan, pinapalitan lang natin ha. So, ito yung ating given. If x is 6, the value of y is 3. Ayan. And then, if x is 8, the value of y is 3.32. So, ganun lang ang paggamit ng ating calculator para mas mabilis kayo sa paggawa ng table of values ninyo at para ma-evaluate yung y ng mas accurate. After nito class ay pwede na nating i-graph. Yung graph kanina, pwede tayong gumamit ng GeoGebra para i-recheck yung graph mo. Or kung ayaw mo naman, pwede kang mag-graph manually. So, ikaw ang gagawa ng Cartesian plane. So, ngayon, gumamit ako ng GeoGebra at ito yung graph ng ating given logarithmic function. So, after nun, trinace natin yung mga points. Kaya meron na tong line. Next, bibigyan ko kayo ng more examples in finding the domain, range, and vertical asymptote of logarithmic function para mas ma-familiarize pa kayo sa pagkuha ng mga to. Okay. So, first we have find the domain, range, and vertical asymptote of y is equal to logarithm of the quantity 4x minus 3 to the base 3. So, unahin natin yung domain. Again, para makuha yung domain ay dapat yung x value mo ay greater than 0. Or yung argument, ito lang yung kukunin natin, yung naka-quantity. So, 4x minus 3 should be greater than 0. So, ngayon, simplify. We can add both sides by positive 3 or we can simply transpose yung negative 3. So, magiging positive 3. So, 4x is greater than positive 3. To solve for the value of x, we divide both sides by 4. So, we could cancel this 4 or the value of this is 1. Kapag 1, di na natin sinusulat pa. So, your x is greater than 3/4. Para isulat yung domain, ang domain mo is 3/4 up to positive infinity. Paano naman si range? Si range ay lahat ng range ng logarithmic function is all real numbers. The set of all real numbers automatic from negative infinity up to positive infinity. Ganyan lang. Ang vertical asymptote naman, since nakuha mo na yung value ng domain, kung anong value ng x, yun lang din yung vertical asymptote mo. Pero, hindi ka gagamit ng inequality symbol, but instead, equal sign. Kasi distinct siya sa graph. So, hindi pwedeng daanan ito ng graph mo. So, x is equal to 3/4. So, find the domain, range, and vertical asymptote given y is equal to logarithm of the quantity 8x minus 16, closed quantity, plus 2 to the base 4. Okay? So, again, para kuhanin yung domain, ang kukunin mo lang, ito lang. Yung naka-parenthesis lang. So, 8x minus 16 is greater than 0. Transpose negative 16, so it becomes 8x greater than 16. Magiging positive. So, divide both sides by 8, and then we could have this one as 1, at di na natin kailangang isulat yung 1. So, x is greater than 16 divided by 8 is 2. So, we can now write your domain as 2 up to positive infinity. Yung range naman ay, so alam natin kanina, ng range ay negative infinity up to positive infinity. Yan na yung range. Yung vertical asymptote, kung anong value ng domain, yun lang din yung value ng vertical asymptote. So, x is equal to 2.
Next, find the domain, range, and vertical asymptote of the logarithmic function given y is equal to logarithm of the quantity 3x minus 9 plus 12 to the base 1/4. Same process, kapag kukunin natin yung kanyang domain, we only consider this one, kung ano yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. So, ito lang yung kopyahin. So, 3x minus 9 should be greater than 0. After that, we have to simplify. We solve for the value of x. To solve for the value of x, we can add both sides by positive 9. Or we can just simply use the transposition method. Okay? Or we can transpose negative 9 to the other side of the inequality. So we have negative 9, transpose it to the other side, we have 3x greater than positive 9. To solve for the value of x, we divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and we do not need to write 1. So, we are left with only x which is greater than 3. Okay, saan galing yung 3? 9 divided by 3. So, to write your domain, we have the quantity 3 all the way up to positive infinity. What about the range? Since alam mo na logarithmic function ito, automatic na ang range ay isa lang. That is from negative infinity up to positive infinity because ang range ay the set of all real numbers. Ang vertical asymptote naman, kung anong nakuha mong value ng x, yun lang din ang vertical asymptote. Ang vertical asymptote ay x which is equal to 3. Ang ibig sabihin nito, at this point, x is equal to 3 ay hindi pwedeng dumaan yung graph because that is your asymptote. Vertical asymptote. I will give you also more example in finding the intercepts and zeros of logarithmic function. Determine the intercepts and zeros of each logarithmic function. Given, we have first, we have y is equal to logarithm of the quantity x minus 9, close quantity minus 1 to the base 5. Para makuha yung x-intercept, kailangan yung y mo ay maging 0. Or we let your y be equal to 0. So, we have 0 is equal now to logarithm of the quantity x minus 9 minus 1 to the base 5 is equal to 0. So, mapapansin niyo yung y, ginawa lang natin na 0. Next, interchange lang natin class para mas maganda yung itsura na nasa left side yung ating variable. After nito, we can simply transpose your negative 1 to the other side of the equation. Para nang sa ganon ay pwede nating matransform ito sa kanyang exponential form. So, pag transpose natin yung negative 1 to the other side, we have logarithm of the quantity x minus 9 to the base 5 is equal to positive 1. So, naging positive 1 because we've transposed it. So, the other way para gawin yan ay we add both sides by positive 1. We can now transform ito into its exponential form. Para i-transform yan sa exponential form, we have the base 5 raised to 1 that is equal to the argument x minus 9. Or, pwede natin ilagay x minus 9 that is equal to 5 raised to 1. Okay? Next, we can now solve for the value of x. We transpose your negative 9 to the other side of the equation so that we have x is equal now to 5 plus 9. 5 plus 9 is equal to 14. So, x now is equal to 14. Since nasa x-intercept tayo, kailangan isusulat mo siya sa ordered pair. So, kapag sinulat yan sa ordered pair, ang x value mo ay 14, ang y value mo ay 0. So, we have x-intercept is 14 and 0. The y-intercept naman ay kailangan you let your x be equal to 0. So, ito gagawin nating 0. So, we have y is equal to logarithm of the quantity 0 minus 9 minus 1 to the base 5. So, mapapansin ninyo, we let your x be equal to 0. Simplify, we have y is equal to logarithm of the quantity negative 9 minus 1 to the base 5. Ngayon, if you notice, yung value nito ay negative. Since ang value nito, ang argument natin, ay negative, okay, ang ibig sabihin nito class ay bawal. So, since bawal, we have the value of your y which is undefined. Bakit? Kasi nga sabi natin is kailangan positive yung nandito. So, since your y is undefined, we do not have any y-intercept. So, our y-intercept is none. Wala. What about the zeros? Yung zeros naman is kung ano yung nakuha mong value ng x-intercept, yun lang din yung iyong zeros. Okay? Or 0 kasi mag-isa lang. Ngayon, so x now is equal to 14. Anong pinagkaiba sa X-intercept? Ang X-intercept lang kasi ay nakalagay as ordered pair. Next, determine the X-intercepts and zeros of the logarithmic function y is equal to negative 3 ln the quantity x minus 4. If you notice, sa given natin ay meron tayong presence ng ln, which is what we call the natural logarithm. Para isolve ang ganitong klase ng logarithm, natural logarithm, we have this one. So, kakailanganin natin daw na isolve yung kanyang x-intercept, y-intercept, at yung kanyang 0. So, to solve for the x-intercept, same process, we let your y be equal to 0. So, we have y or 0 that is equal to negative 3 ln times x minus 4. To solve for this, we can divide both sides by negative 3 para we can cancel this one. So we have divide both sides by negative 3, cancel. So ang na-cancel lang dito class ay yung negative 3. Okay? Actually, hindi siya yung na-cancel talaga na totally ang value ay 0. Ang value niyan ay 1. But if it is 1, di na natin kailangan isulat pa. So we are left with ln, the quantity x minus 4 is equal to 0. 0 divided by any number is 0. Ngayon naman, if you can recall yung property ng natural logarithm, pwede natin itong i-transform sa kanyang exponential form. So, para i-transform ito sa kanyang equivalent exponential form, we have your x minus 4 that is equal to e raised to 0. Yung natural logarithm ln in exponential is your base e. So, e raised to 0 that is equal to x minus 4. So, we can now solve for the value of x. X minus 4 is now equal to 1. Bakit naging 1? Kasi yung e raised to 0 is equal to 1. Any number or expression raised to 0 is equal to 1. Next, solve for x. We transpose negative 4 to the other side of the equation, or we can add positive 4 on both sides of the equation. So we have x is equal to 1 plus 4. 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. So the x-intercept is now equal to 5 and 0. Next, kapag y-intercept naman ay we let your x be equal to 0. So ito magiging 0. So we have y is equal to negative 3 ln times 0 minus 4. Next, we have now y is equal to undefined. Bakit undefined ulit? Kasi yung value neto ay negative. At bawal tayong magkaroon ng negative value for this. Okay? So, ngayon, since undefined siya, wala tayong y-intercept. So, ang 0 naman ay kung anong nakuha mong value ng x, ayun na din yung value ng 0 of the logarithmic function. So, if x here is 5, so your 0 is x is equal to 5. Bakit sila parehas? Kasi same sila ng process. Okay? That will let your y be equal to 0. So, x is equal to 5. Alright? That's it. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Again, this is Julie Morta, your General Mathematics teacher for Module 9. God bless and keep safe, everyone.